Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. So, we've been doing quite a lot of things. One thing I was considering is we could, in the last episode we were kind of diving deep into Hellmod, figuring out rubber. And one thing we had looked at was the arthropod blood being used in the recipe to make organic solvent. And it's not terrible. And one thing is, like, what if we had extra zip here anyway? You know, we could almost have arthropod blood as a byproduct, or a side product, I mean. But then I thought about, like, zip here aren't actually that free. I mean, they use fish, phytoplankton, and substrate, I mean, they're not that expensive. Stone wool's not that expensive, and fish are mostly just filtration media at the end of the day in terms of costs that actually matter. The fish food's free because of the turd that we chose. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely an option since I'm not using my zip here anyway. But yeah, I was looking at a few more recipes outside the stream. I was thinking about the potential for using the syngas, just the original recipe, just from coal gas. And coal gas you can produce, you know, in large amounts with there's also low distillates to coal gas. Huh. But I was considering just this recipe from raw coal. You know, and it's like, yeah, that's 22 DDCs, but that's not that crazy. And then 40 gasifiers, and we call it a day. You know, and then we get... I thought about the one with oxygen, but the amount of oxygen you need is actually kind of absurd. So weirdly enough, when you're scaling up this recipe, I'm like 58 electrolyzers. I don't know if that's worth it. Compared to just using more DDCs with more raw coal. That seems easier to me. So yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here, and I'm not sure. There's so many different paths to take. And it almost feels like a combination of them would be the most efficient, but if we're just mass producing the syngas to make sulfuric acid, basically, this seems like the route to go. Now, there's also the elephant in the room that I forgot to talk about, which is ammonia, which we need in large amounts for the formic acid, the formamide. And that might be best to get from the copper and coke recipe, to be honest. This might be the easiest way. And we can get lots of coke from the oil sand, like bitumen path, as well as just the red hot coke from coal path. So those are both good options. I was looking at those, like, okay, this is kind of, if we had 300 bitumen, that actually gets us a crap ton of coke. That gets us up to 66 coke. And so that's one option. And then that gets us a bunch of tar, which we can use for stuff too. So that's kind of the nice part about this recipe, is it nets you a lot of tar. The problem is it uses a crap ton of copper. So that's a little bit of a downside. But that's, we're talking about how to make coke here, so that, you know, we use the copper either way to make the ammonia. So I'll have to up my copper production big time. And then there's this one, which is the classic, you know, you crush your coal, turn it into crushed coal, coarse coal, those all turn into coal, and then you turn coal itself into red hot coke, and then the red hot coke into coke. And, you know, when you look at that, it feels like it might be easier than the bitumen route. You also get a lot of coal dust and ash out, and you get some coke oven gas, which, again, would allow you to heat more potentially hot air. You know, total buildings is 60 megawatts, 23. This is 99 buildings. Although, wait, no, that's part of a different thing. To just make the coke. Sorry, I was also looking at, like, processing the side products, low, medium, high distillates. And we could actually get some coal gas from processing the low distillates. Which is interesting because that could offset the syngas cost from some other things. So it's like there's even methanol. You can get methanol from the medium distillates because medium turns to stripped distillates. I think that's its only use. Or you can upgrade to high distillates, I guess. But And then the high distillates, though, you probably wouldn't do that because the high distillates can only get used for naphtha. And you say, wait, naphtha and condensed distillates, right? But like, no, not really, because condensed distillates are just like petroleum, and petroleum's kind of useless. And a tiny bit of gasoline. You know, we're talking like 1 gasoline. So that's such small amounts that it's kind of like whatever. But yeah, anyway, I've enjoyed looking at all these chains. Call me crazy, but I think it's fun. And it's a good excuse to do something while our base is completely stopped up because of circuits. So that's what we're doing in this episode. Circuits, circuits, circuits. So we're going to be making a bigger circuit build. So let's make circuit. I think my original was just 0.1, right? I mean, that's... What's going on here? It's even typed in there, but it's not like actually working. There we go. I think this is what we made originally. We might have made 0.2. I guess I can find out if I just look at circuit production over my life. It looks like it was 13.8 for a long time, and then recently it's been 15 a minute. But yeah, that certainly looks like 0.2 a second was our rate that we set. 13.5 a minute. And we probably upgraded something that enabled it to be slightly faster. So this was our original. And we're gonna need to make a lot more than that. I think we probably go up to 1 a second now. We can at least start with that and see how it looks. Maybe even 1.25 for a full chip shooter. The nice thing is a lot of these things can be provided just via train, like batteries, solder, that's just provided via train already. And then we do need the same thing here, the formica. We now have 2 ways to make it. So we can make the better recipe with melamine resin. Melamine resin, it needs formaldehyde, melamine, and urea. And then the melamine can come from... Wait, there's 2 recipes? Oh, sorry, that's for the melamine resin. The melamine can only come from 1 place currently, which involves cyanic, and so we'll just need the urea recipe for that. We'll just make that on site because we've got urea on trains already and we need it in 2 places here. So that's easy enough to make all that. And then the fiberboard is the same recipe as before. I don't know when we get the new one for that. Not till Blue Science, so we're dealing with this fiberboard recipe for a long time. But again, that's all easy stuff. Treated wood is a little interesting. I don't think we're putting that on trains yet. So that could be something we need to put onto trains. We don't need a lot of it, but it does add up. Interesting. All right, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Had to go do something real quick. Back to this. I mean, I think, honestly, could just make the treated wood on site, but I would have to put creosote on trains. Have I done that yet? What else is creosote used for? It's used for a variety of things, so it feels like creosote should be on trains eventually, if it's not already. And then the treated wood is easy enough to make on site, but it also feels like I could do that somewhere else. Where all is treated wood used? Pretty much just here. It's used for the original Formica recipe, but that's not the one I'm running, right? Yeah, we're running a different one. So we only need it for the fiberboard now. And then the other usage was mostly for buildings. There's a turd nylon recipe, but it's mostly just for buildings. So what I'm trying to figure out is, like, should we put treated wood on trains? Or should we make treated wood on site, wherever we use it? Let's just work on getting creosote on trains first. That should actually be really easy. Yeah, this is a normal... Wait, what? This is just a normal gasoline provider right here. I guess that is my main gasoline supply. And then we can just add in creosote up here. Like this. And we'll just pipe up the creosote wherever it's coming from, right here. Someday I will make a new tar processing block, and I don't know when that day is coming. It might coincide with when we're processing all of this craziness for the rubber, but not today. But what I do want to do... Gosh, there's so many. Maybe I'll go up through, to be honest. Might be the easiest, like this. And just go across all this nonsense. And then we can come up here. Oop. And then up to here. And there we go. So there's creosote, and then we're gonna need a request. Logs. Somewhere. We just need random place to build stuff. Maybe over here on the weak side. Yeah, and this is we've got a multi-provider here, so this could be a good place to provide the treated, and then this requester's already maxed out. So we will need a F requester for creosote. And then we need to also request some logs. Log. We'll request 5 stacks and change this to be log 5. Perfect. And then we can filter out, I mean, I'll just do an inserter. Filtered on logs. And then all we need is 1 wood processing unit right here. Build it out a little bit so we leave some space. I've learned that lesson, don't build things too close to the rails. It's a good lesson. Do need power though. Okay, so there's that, and then that puts wood onto a belt. Also, look at our research. It's actually I mean, it's not happening right now because we're out of circuits, I think, but we are getting research done. Anyway, and then we want to build the tar processing unit. I don't know how many. Maybe 3. Part of me is wondering, should I just make sand castings here too? That's an interesting question. Since we've already got the creosote, but we can always make that somewhere else too. Doesn't have to be here. Anyway, wow, those got built fast. The Automall's on it. Anyway, this guy will come down. Also, speaking of oil sand, here's oil sand right here. I feel like we've seen a couple big patches. Yeah, there's also this one. Okay, so anyway, back to this. That's ready to go. The rate needs to be 0.5 in and 1 out. So boom, 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 boom. And then this guy goes up and across, and the autosave always gets me. Okay, so creosote's hooked up, power hooked up to all those, choose the wood recipe. And I think that's it. And then treated woods on this belt. Goes up and over. Loader in with a circuit condition. Whoa, did not mean to upgrade planer that. Whoops. What I meant to do is hit the green wire button. And then enable disable based on treated wood. Less than 2500. Let's do. And I'm gonna go to 11 stacks of this just in case I request 10 stacks exactly somewhere. Then that won't do weird things. Okay, so that should finish up treated wood. It's amazing how fast you can get something done with map view. It feels really nice. So treated wood's good to go. What else do we need to do here? Everything else is looking good so far. So now we need all the little components, and then we're done. 1, 2, 3. Wait, which one's the cheaper one? $20 copper for 5, 8 copper for 1. Yeah, that one's the cheaper one. And we need ceramic anyway, so. Okay, and then all of these need just the basics. I guess I need to make a big graphite plant somewhere. I'm pretty sure graphite is another one we should make just a large amount of somewhere on trains. Yeah, there's only the one way to make it, and it's used in quite a few spots. So we'll make graphite. Let's say I wanted to make 12 a second. That would need 18 high pressure furnaces. So it's a medium-sized build. Can I do that in the same place? Can I do that over here? I think I really could. I would need one requester, one provider, and I could go along this side. I don't know though. I don't think I want to cover up that chromium patch. Never mind. We've got that one down there still, and we've got this one. So, and we've got more if we just care about mining. So, screw the chromium. Oh, you know what I just realized is this is never gonna get built. Shoot. Okay, well that's annoying. Anywhoosie, let's make our... What's it gonna be? Weak side request. Weak side provide. This is gonna be as simple as it gets. No filters. No boundaries. Just graphite. Alright. I'm gonna do 40 stacks of coke. And then you're gonna just provide graphite. That's all there is to you. You're boring. Yeah, and then this is gonna be graphite provide. This is gonna be coke for graphite. And this is gonna be creosote for I have not been naming most of my stations very well. I'm very aware of that. Creosote for treated wood. My stations are all bogus. What is this? Cobalt, fluoride, plus treated wood. Is that, did I spell that right? Cobalt extract. You can type the word extract with only your left hand, I just realized. What? What the hell? I have plenty of workers' food right here. Oh, God. I see what happened. This game, man. Alright. No, this is a Zen guard. I'm at peace. I'm at Zen. We're okay. Everything's okay. Nothing is the matter. Also, you know, this has bothered me for a while. Let's just fix this now. I don't have enough tiles to completely fix it, but yeah, this is hilarious. All right, those are not meant to be in here. And I'm guessing that we screwed over yep, the brain carrier. So let me put that back in. I'm gonna need to carry his entire inventory. Goodness, how many petri dishes are we gonna get back because of this, though? That's the real benefit. You know, sometimes you screw things up, but you also get a bonus at the same time. Look at how many petri dishes we now have available for the base, which aren't even needed anymore. Oh no. I just realized I need to go on a ride to, maybe I'll go over here. Because this is where we make all of our substrate. And I'll deposit it there and then go get the rest. Because we're not making substrate at the home base anymore for science. So it's not really getting used. But these petri dishes will be getting used. Which we were apparently out of? Why were we out of petri dishes? Oh, goodness. My base is a hot mess right now. Let's go get the rest. Okay. We're doing it though. Things are happening. You know, we're doing important things. This is actually a really fun part of the game for me. I know last episode I got a little overwhelmed with making rubber. Part of the problem is I'm making 4 rubber a second. I could make 2 rubber a second and that would be fine. Making 4 rubber a second is pretty ambitious at this stage of the game. So that's part of the issue as well. But I'm also like, I've been building fairly small scale, so it's a little bit overwhelming to see sometimes, like, if I really want a big amount of items, the scale we have to go is really big. But yeah. This guy should be fine now, I think. Let's just double check that we've only got... What is it? Oh, gosh, there's 2 inserters. I didn't even see that. Wow. Okay. Thankfully, that one managed to never get the wrong item, so that's good. So anyway, there's workers' food, and now I think I can delete this request, right? I'm sure I can. I'm pretty sure I can. I don't have that much trash though. This doesn't look like I do. I'm sure there are lots of things I can get rid of, but But yeah, let's go put these away as well. Get ourselves some more substrate. And then we'll go fix the out of fuel guy. And then we pretty much dealt with all of this. The graphite will be a separate thing, so I'm not gonna worry about that. Put the rest of those in there. That should last me a while. Okay, and now we'll go feed a few workers food to that other guy. Man, that's crazy that wasn't... Man, going for how many hours, I wonder? I mean, that's been stuck ever since I requested petri dishes over here. Which was who knows how long ago. Okay. Get you fueled up. Also, at some point I need to redo nickel processing, because we're going to need a lot of nickel for that syngas methanol stuff. Okay, so he's good to go now. So yeah, let's work on that graphite again. We were over... In what region? We were over here. Apparently I built one where it's not even buildable. Classic mistake. But this should be a simple high pressure furnace. And we're gonna need, we said like 18 of them. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we've actually got 2 belts of coke coming in, potentially. And then they need 1.66 a second each, so... If I wanted to, what I might do to help with things is do an underground. And then do one of these. Wait, that and that. And then we power all 4 buildings and all the inserters. So we got something like this. And then all of them output onto that belt. Okay. And rates-wise, that should be fine. Okay. And that power works. And then we'll just connect power across there. We'll even throw... I'll throw lamps in a second, but... That's chill. That's 8. Copy that to make 16. And why not make 20? It's a little overkill. But it should be fine. Maybe we'll have productivity modules someday. And then this needs a second belt out. Which again, we don't have this much coke right now, but we will someday. And then... Yeah, we've got this guy coming out as graphite, this guy coming in as coke, and then this guy coming in as coke. That should do it. We'll do lamp, lamp, lamp. Sweet. Wow, it feels really good to be able to build things from map view. Now that we've got all the primary things being made over here. Like inserters and such. How many inserters do I have for the base? Well, we've got 400 up to, I guess. Well, by the way, I'm still working on AUGs, aren't I? Kind of forgot about AUGs. I got distracted by circuits. AUGs after circuits, exclamation mark. Cause yeah, we need circuits ASAP. And they're really not that bad. I think we're basically done. Because ceramic is one of those ones we can easily build on site. Because we already needed coke anyway, and clay is just steam, which I will just make with a electric boiler. So all of these things are now requestable via train, I believe, except copper cable. Eventually we'll be able to do advanced castings for that, and who knows if I will, because I don't know if they're worth the cost, but for now, they're just copper plates. And this is it. This whole thing is still a relatively small build. Should I go bigger? I think I should. I'm gonna go 2.5, just because it gets the exact number of buildings. And then, yeah, some of these counts are a little higher, but it's really not that expensive. And I just think this way we're not gonna have to worry about it, like, for a very long time. Now, the only question is with fiberboard, well, we just looked. We don't get a new recipe until blue science, so that's so far away. In Formica, we do get a turd recipe at some point, potentially. And then ceramic could be one that's worth, because later you get a much faster, more productive recipe if you add salt into it. We actually get that one later on. But is that even worth it? Because clay is kind of free. It does mean we use less coke, but we're not using that much coke in the first place. Anyway, my question is, should I be importing ceramic? Instead of making it on site? And the answer to that's probably yes. In fact, am I not already making ceramic? No, we already got ceramic on trains. So we can just request ceramic. Cool. So this is it. This is no big deal at all. So let's just grab that Helmod Smart tool and we throw that over into our second one. We actually needed both. That's funny. And this thing's frozen as heck because we don't have circuits. So that could be a problem. I'm gonna hit the reset button. Been a while since I've done that. Cause yeah, we need these electronics factories to get built. Wow. New circuit build, that's crazy. And yeah, the AUG factories are probably, the automated factories are not getting built because of circuits. Heat exchangers not getting built because of circuits. But the PCB factories should get built. Like all these things should get built just fine. And then this one, gas refineries and moss farms. What channel are those on? Those are on channel 0, officially. But I want them to go back. Where do I want those to go? They should probably be back into these. So I think I need to go do that manually. I was about to hit the trash unrequested button, but I think that would be a problem. for the auto mall. Okay, what is holding back Pi Science? Pi 2. Mechanical parts. Got it. That makes sense. And Sarkoris. Everything's held back by plasmids. Held back by lab instruments. Lab instruments. Held back by equipment chassis. Equipment chassis held back by Phoenix. Phoenix held back by not making enough Phoenix? How much Phoenix do we need for Pi 2 Science? Did I ever look at that? We need 0.1 a second. That's significant. That is significant. But we should be getting it, so I guess the question is just where's all this Phoenix going? And the answer is, who knows? That one's already backed up. So that implies it is going onto the train then. That's good. Okay. Oh, I guess it also goes into buildings and such. Yeah. When do we get another way to make that? Wait, we never get another way to make it? That's crazy. There's no molten alloying method for this. Interesting. Okay, well, let's do our business here. We wanted to grab these and put them into these. Okay, and how's our wish list going here? Getting there. Wait, what did I need wood processing units for? In circuits? Oh, the Formica is made in WPUs. Okay. Are these the correct WPUs, by the way? Crafting speed of 1 rather than 0.25. I think so. Are those the actual ones I have? Yeah. Okay, so this is still what we're lacking here. Are we incapable of making chip shooters? Oh, we are. We need PCSs for those. I forgot about that. Okay, we need 40 PCSs. I'm gonna have to go manually grab those. Forgot chip shooters were special like that. They certainly are special. Okay, so PCBs or PCSs. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stock up for a minute. This could take some time. Look at how many products it's finished. 23,000. It's crazy. What? Okay, here's a fun exercise for the commenters. What do you guys think is the highest in the entire base? Especially those who have followed the whole series. Which exact building do you think has the highest products finished in the entire base? What might it be? I mean, these guys are pretty high. 155,000? That's pretty huge. 235,000? You know, but which one has the most? Looks like miners don't count. Which one has the most? There are some high numbers, but which one do you think is the highest? And yeah, leave a comment, and maybe in the next episode after I receive these comments, which will be a few episodes down the line, I can look through kind of, and make sure you're specific. Like if you just say a tar processing plant, that's not helpful. I'm not gonna look through all of them. But if you have a specific location in mind, be very specific about like, oh, the thing that's to the left of this thing that's underneath this thing that's making this recipe. Because, you know, there's a lot of buildings that are making similar recipes in sometimes nearby locations. So let me know exactly where the building is that you're talking about. Now, you don't have to let me know exactly which building. I'll look through the you know, if you're saying one of these sap ones, I'll look through all of them. So more just a section of the same building, and I'll look through all of them. Let me know what you think. It could be something with a fast recipe. It could be something I built in the beginning of the game. What do you think has the most products finished? That is a fun exercise. Oh, this is gonna be a while. We only have 7. Ugh. Is there any way I can speed this up? Not really. Now, one thing I want to do is look real quick here. Are we putting these circuits anywhere else? Like, where all are these circuits going? I know they're going to the mall, but are they going to the mall for things that even matter? Like, they're going in here, but that doesn't matter. We're not using circuits for cDNA stuff, so that doesn't matter. Wait, so cDNA does use circuits? So that means we're gonna have to import circuits for our cDNA build. What uses circuits in here? Wait, none of this uses circuits. Oh, equipment chassis uses circuits. Oh, I don't know how I didn't clock that. So that means laboratory instruments use circuits, which means all of these things actually use circuits. I see. That is obnoxious. Alright, I know a place I want productivity modules yesterday. And rubber. I mean, laboratory instruments are the bane of my existence right now. They need circuits, they need rubber, they need phoenix, which needs iron, which I stopped producing for a couple hours. Okay, well that means we would need to request circuits to here. Specifically. Anywhere else that needs them? I don't think so. Landfillita is doing landfill. Bat Boys for batteries, which doesn't involve circuits. So we could request circuits to cDNA. The circuit replacement project would need those to go to cDNA, and then the other circuits are passing by here, and they get used in radars. That's such a tiny thing. I can make those anywhere. I can make those at the auto mall. They're getting used in inserters. We're already making those in the auto mall. Loaders, I'm not making in the auto mall yet, but we need to. So the full auto mall conversion will fix all of these problems. And then the rest are going to here, which again is auto mall stuff, which again I can just put all in the auto mall, and then to trains. So yeah, I think we're fine. cDNA is the only thing that's using circuits on this side of the world. All right, do we have enough PCS yet? Nope, I need 4 more. More. And where are we gonna build this? I think this block could be a good spot. Zinc ore though is right there. Oh, we've got a huge zinc patch right here that's perfect for mining because there's just not room in this block to do anything else. So that's definitely the zinc ore that we'll be mining on, which means I actually am just going to delete this patch, I think. We've even got that patch and 3 more down here. Yep. I'm just going to delete this one. Oh, it feels so weird to do. Where's my ore eraser button? Oh, it's right there. Feels so weird. Goodbye, zinc. We hardly knew ye. Okay, anyway, so for circuits, we're requesting... How many high volume ingredients versus low volume? Copper's the highest volume for sure. And then urea's actually medium. Wait, why do we need so much urea? I forget, is there another way to make cyanic? Right, there's this one, which allows us to turn ammonia, methane, and coal into cyanic. It's technically more efficient. And coal and methane are cheap, so I should use this one. Should I make melamine separately? Like, how many places do we need melamine? It actually is used in a few places. Mainly batteries, melamine resin, which is used in the formica. It's used again. Huh. You know, that's making me think I should maybe mass produce that too. That puts me a little bit further away from actually finishing this though, but that's okay. So we're not gonna make melamine here. So 4 mil, is that actually cheaper than the other formica recipe? Now that I look at it, I'm like, is this actually worse? Because this stuff is cheaper in some ways. Like, the treated wood cost is, you know, massively different. This also needs a crap ton of sap and fiber. Formaldehyde, though, is cheap because we're making it with the refined natural gas, which is basically free. And this adds in the cost of 4 melamine, which, even if we're using the cheaper recipe where we come from ammonia, that's still 8 ammonia, which would be 1.6 urea. So we're talking 2.6 urea? Or, instead of using urea for ammonia, what we need to start doing is mass producing that coke and copper to ammonia. We can even do that on low priority, so that way it only eats up, and then we provide that ammonia at lower priority. So we're utilizing the ammonia we get from urea first, but if we run out of that, we'll have this as a backup. Is that better? Or should I utilize this stuff first? I guess it depends. I guess we would want the ammonia that comes from urea to be requesting urea at a low priority then. So that way other things get urea first. Let me actually go do that right now while I'm thinking about it. This is where we're doing that. So this requester needs to be a lower priority. So that way other things get urea first compared to this. Now that is gonna mess with the coal request, but coal is one of those things where I should always have enough of that. So And that's only to fuel this, apparently. So yeah, that's never going to be a problem. So this way, this ammonia is only made with low priority urea. But then the other ammonia will be made with low priority coke and copper. But this one will be provided at a higher priority. But that means if we run out of urea that's extra from all the other things that are using urea, this one will run out of ammonia, and then we'll start using the ammonia from coke and copper. Okay, I actually like that plan. No, I don't need that right there. So that means to make melamine, we're gonna need fluidized bed reactors and quenching towers in another block with mostly fluid requests, ammonia and methane and coal. Make melamine. But the cyanic, do we, yeah, that's used in a bunch of things. So we kind of just want a block to mass produce cyanic and ammonia. When do I get the meat to cyanic? It's towards the end of Pi 2, but we do get meat to cyanic acid too, which is kind of awesome. Yeah. So I feel like we could set these up in the same block. And then we can also set up melamine. $20 a second? Is that crazy? I don't think it is. And melamine resin in the same block? Or not so much? Yeah, I mean, that's used in a few places. That's only used for the hot, though. I don't care about that. But we need it for resorcinol, plus these are used for red circuits. So we need it again for red circuits. And then melamine we need for neuromorphic chip. That's not for a long time. Climate adaptive glass shell. Oh, that's one of the turds for whatchamacallits. It is just another way to make plastic, though. But surely that's not how I'll ever make plastic. That just feels bad. Now there's an interesting one. Casein, hot air, and formaldehyde. That one seems awful. We know how expensive sulfuric is and how expensive ammonia is and how expensive acetone is. This one I think existed a lot sooner back in the day. I feel like I remember doing this one or something like it. But this one might be the best, actually. Titanium tetrachloride might be a little too expensive, though. I don't know, but propane's not bad. That's just lead and syngas. And the chlorine, I don't know. These are all tricky to evaluate. I'm getting lost again. Lost in the sauce. Okay, anyway, all that to say we do want to make all of this, so we need to import all of these things. And am I making enough? I think this is more than enough of all of these. No, this one, it's not enough. we actually want that to be 100. 25 a second. That is a lot. 25 fluidized bed reactors, I mean. How expensive are those? Thankfully, they're pretty cheap, actually. They're just a bunch of iron. So that actually really helps. And then cyanic, I want it to be 100. What am I doing wrong? Oh, okay, I guess that's fine. Yeah, because we're making that. We're making 100 cyanic. And yeah, they're kind of intertwined. So like we'll use this ammonia and that cyanic to make the melamine, but like it's all part of the same output. Okay. This is a lot of fluidized bed reactors. Wow. Well, let's not do the smart pipette yet. Oh, right, this is still going. Okay, so we got 40 of those. We got what we want. Oof. Lots of... This is if you give a mouse a cookie situation, is it not? We really, we've got a lot going on here. But let's go grab from the Automalo chip shooter stuff. I guess we're gonna have to make this block first to make the melamine and the melamine resin and the cyanic for the rest of our base. And like we said, this is the Zen Garden experience. Like, yeah, it does delay us getting circuits, but we are making circuits right now. We're not making them fast enough for what our base needs, but we are making them. So like things are happening. Things are okay here. We're gonna make it. Eventually, if we keep doing these tasks, we will, you know, get to the point where we've got everything we need. That point's just a long way away. Okay. Get rid of the bonuses. Turn this off. Grab the results. Delete. Turn it back on. Okay. So we are ready to start building that, and now let's get this one requested. Because this is going to be a pretty big cost. That's a lot of fluidized bed reactors. And this thing's trying to make a lot of things with circuits. So I'm gonna hit the reset button again. And it's gonna take a minute. Because yeah, circuits are a big problem. I should have started making more circuits a long time ago. That was a mistake for sure. Oh, I forgot to put an inserter back there. I swear I did that. Like, in my head, I did that. Oh well. It'll get built. But yeah, circuits, unfortunately, we've just been consuming more than we've been making for as long as possible. And wait, oh, that was just recently. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you can see that in the last 50 hours, we've only slowed down. We slowed down once about 3 hours ago. That was probably when we ran out of iron. And then before that, it was only 20 hours ago. And I'm wondering if that was actually, yeah, you can tell because, look at this. It's really funny. You can see a spike right after production started. And that's because all of the ingredients here were backed up. And so that actually means for the last time we had enough circuits was 20 hours ago. And I'm actually hesitant. That might not be true. I don't even know if we had that. We might have. We might have backed up on circuits 20 hours ago, but I'm actually struggling to believe we did. That spike could have been for another reason. Okay, well anyway, that's running again. And we're back to making circuits. All right, well, I think we'll have to call it an episode here. Let's go check on the thing we built and at least make sure it's all there and working. Graphite is working, by the way. And that's great. And treated wood is not working, by the way. And that's because we are not getting creosote. Oh, I meant to go build those manually. That's what's going on there. Let's do that real quick before the end of the episode. I'll forget. We don't do it now. Okay. So we just need to run by this area. And our bots should take care of the rest. And there we go. Oh, pipe overextended. Okay. There we go. Oh wait, that's still overextended. Just kidding. Okay, where is it overextended? Here? There we go. Okay, so that'll get creosote going. Someday I'll have a different creosote provider. But for now, this is what we got. I actually kind of want to turn this one on -1, because if we're getting gasoline or creosote from other sources, I think we'll use it there first. Well, this is kind of like trash creosote, though. It's weird. I'm using... Oh! That was so close. Close call number 27, it feels like. That one was really close, though. Almost death. Well, we actually have enough rubber stoppers, so that feels good. What we don't have is brains. This needs to go like this, actually. There we go. Okay. Well, we're going to call it an episode there. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.